What a beautiful spring day. You know, when you have these spring days, everybody wants to get out on the water and go fishing, and I'm no different. And you know, the temperatures today are going to climb up into the 80s. We're on this incredible warming trend, and we're at Lake Amistad. This is one of my all-time favorite lakes. If I had to rank my top 5 lakes that I've ever fished, this would always be in the top 5, and I've had some great memories here of past trips. But the lake kind of has gone through an ebb and flow. You look back into the late 90s, into the early 2000s, into about 2010, this was arguably one of the best bass fishing lakes in the nation. And then for whatever reason, it took a nosedive. Fishing got tough over here, but it is rumored to be really back and on the upswing. And we've got a lot of history over here. We've got a lot of waypoints that we're gonna go look at. Basically, we're gonna get out and enjoy a great spring day on what's still arguably one of the best bass fishing lakes you're ever gonna go wet a line on. It's so pretty in that clear water. All that hydrilla coming in with him. This whole bay looks like it's full of hydrilla. That's awesome to see. Kind of went through a period there where there wasn't a lot of grass on this lake, and now you know it's really rebounded. And when you can get that grass in the lake, the future sure looks bright. Let's get him back in the water. I need to get back out there. I got him kind of half fired up. Two of them bit it on that cast right there. One of them slapped at it. I missed him, or he missed the bait. And then that one there got it pretty quick. The wind is really blowing down this canyon. You know, this is such a clear water lake. I love it when you get a little wind on it like that, when you're fishing a moving bait like we're doing right here. I think it makes a big difference how they'll bite. We're literally just kind of drifting along this windy bank. There's hydrilla all the way down it, and I'm just cranking the edges of it. I want to be in that bay. I feel like that's where I need to catch those big ones. There's so much floating grass inside that bay in the middle of it. I just can't fish it effectively. So I've moved kind of inside this point, and there's almost like an inside grass line with what appears to be some little drop-offs. And I'm catching some little bank runners right now. I'll have to figure out how to get out there and find a drain that's got bigger ones staging in it, because the way the temperatures are right now, 56 and climbing. I mean, probably the warmest day of the spring, it's gorgeous. There's fish moving up. You know, Amistad always warms up late in comparison. A lot of people think because we're on the Mexico border on this lake that the water temperatures are going to soar real fast, but the elevation, and if you really look at it, you know, draw a line across the United States, this lake's fairly high up, you know, as far as geographically, when you're looking at it, and it takes it a while to warm up. We might have no good one here. Oh, he's off. I don't know if that was grass or what that was.
More from Lake Amistad when the Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook returns.
It's in our stomping grounds and our playground. It's in our sights and our commitment. It's in him, it was in them, and it will continue with her. It's in my nature. Is it in yours?
Get you some, boys! Woo!
shot.
You put the cool in life. We put the cool in coolers. Arctic ice.
Engineered to excel, the Ranger Z500 and Z100 series are built for the ultimate ownership experience. It's a commitment to excellence packed with real-world advantages and exclusive features. Experience the accelerated performance standards of the legendary Ranger Z series. From first light to last cast, they're put together to set you apart. Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here.
At Yamaha, reliability is a family tradition. Meet the next generation. 4 new advanced technology-inspired inline 4-cylinder performers. Bred from the reliability and boater satisfaction that is part of Yamaha's DNA. They prove that when power gets lighter, faster, stronger, and smarter, boating gets even better. And more satisfying for boaters like you.
Let's get down to business. Quiet, you sons of fishes. Now, what?
I'm switching sonar.
Why?
Because now I can see fish swimming live in front of my boat. I even see fish attack my lure. Y'all's sonar is just history. I'm out.
I'm with him.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Cabela's. It's in your nature. Yamaha Marine. Reliability starts here. And by Ranger Boats. Still building legends, one at a time. Wade is on the famed Lake Amistad in West Texas. Now, the key to fishing Lake Amistad is finding grass lines. And with as windy as the day has been, Wade's been throwing a crankbait with much success.
There he is. Come here, fish. Sitting in that little trough. You know, we're fishing right now up in the Burrows, and the Burrows is on the Mexican side, and it's one of the most popular creeks on the lake. It's not a hard lake to actually go fish. You know, there's a lot of hydrilla tends to be there most of the time, and a few nice little drains that kind of set up on it, and that's all we're doing is fishing for staging fish that are trying to move up and letting the wind do the work for us. It's just an easy pattern to be able to go run, and I'm throwing a bait that I've caught them over here for probably the last decade on. It's just a Spro Little John, and gets down there about 8-10 feet deep, and it just hunts a lot of bites in this type of a situation when that water temperature's in that middle 50s. It's got the perfect action for what I'm trying to do to catch pre-spawn fish. Oh, there's one. Good one. Oh, come here, fish. Goodness, you're strong down there. Boy, you ate it too. A little bit better bass. Come here, buddy. Look at that. That's all about eating. It's got everything in there. That's what I like to see. That's gonna be one of the, he hit it with authority right off. You can kind of little point with some grass on it. It's cranking down through here. I think every bass we've caught so far today has been on that Little John right there. Well, these Amistad bass have really come back good. And I know there's people catching a lot bigger ones than that out there, but that's the future of the fishery right there. You used to just catch those by the dozens out here. So it's good to see a lot of those getting back in here. Get another cast on that. Right at the boat. I don't have, what I have out's pretty much, when he bit it. He nailed it. We got outside that grass line. It looks like that grass right now is out there in about 12 foot of water, kind of ending. And then we got us a little drop off right there on him. And once again, a lot of little males. But we can get right along the edge of that grass, we seem to get a bite. Which makes all the sense in the world. that's where that drop off, where that edge is gonna be, where those points are kind of coming up. You can see it on the Panoptics when I go left and go right. You can just kind of see that edge, and that's where the Panoptics has one of the really hidden values, is being able to identify, you know, structure and things out in front of you, you know, as well as what your bait's doing, as well as what the fish are. But I really like it when I'm fishing around grass lines to see where the edge of the grass is, see where the drop-offs are. It gives me a great amount of confidence that I'm putting my bait not just out blindly into open water. I'm putting it right where that grass line edge ends. There he is. Little one. Come off that bluff end. There's an underwater point right here. You can't really tell it. We're pretty far back offshore. And that little underwater point and that drop off, it really, I mean, it comes out about 5 to 8 feet deep, and then all of a sudden goes to 30 right here. There's a little bit of scattered brush and grass on it. I thought I'd ease over here, maybe catch a monster. Missed one on the first cast, and that one there got it on the drop off. I'm seeing a few things suspended down there. You know, Amistad's always been a lake about bobbing and weaving and moving around in a lot. I've thought, I know there's people that have a lot of success just drowning a worm in one area, but I was never one of them. I always felt like I needed 20 places, and I would hit them and rotate them and eventually get a couple of big bites off of them, and versus just sit in one area and fish and cast and wait for them to come to me. I always wanted to cover as much water as I could, and just imagining in my mind how these fish would, you know, literally move from 10 feet and they would go from 40 foot of water up into a perfect feeding position on a bluff end or something like that. Another little guy. We are in the male nursery today. The bite's really aggressive on these fish. You know, you may come over here tomorrow and catch 20 pounds on the exact same stretch. These fish are just starting to move up. Bye-bye. It's just fun to see Amistad get like that. You know, I just remember those days of every bait that I wanted to catch them on. We'd come over and do topwater shows. We'd do cranking shows. We'd do soft plastic shows. We'd throw worms around. I mean, it didn't matter. You could have some great days. I mean, we had some 100, 120 fish days on this lake, and it was just a great lake to go fish. And it, you know, like a lot of places, a lot of lakes, it went into a slump, but now you can see that it's definitely on the rebound and coming back in a lot of different ways. May not have caught any big ones so far today, but we're starting to get a lot of bites, which is, you know, something that you couldn't do there for a while on Amistad, you know, as far as catching keepers. So to see the lake kick back the way it is and to see the quality, you know, these fish, you can tell they're healthy, they're you know, full of energy, they look good. It's getting ready to get good again down here on the border.
Coming up on the Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook, Wade fishes with a surprise guest on Lake Amistad.
Engel's got the original high-performance cooler and a whole lot more. Engel coolers, go with the original.
Hobie's Mirage Drive kayaks set the standard for fun on the water. Whether your passion is fishing, sailing, or recreational adventure, Hobie's got a kayak for you. Hobie's Mirage Drive mimics nature's proven designs for efficient and powerful propulsion and enhances your kayaking experience. Mirage Power, Mirage Performance, Mirage Drive. Hobie, enjoy the ride.
gill that I've used for the last 5 years has been a far superior product than anything else on the market.
The main thing that's really important to me is me being dry. I've been wearing gill suits now for 3 years and never once have I gotten wet.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Garmin. Fight your fish, not your fish finder. Spro, sports professionals. Engel Coolers, a legend in reliability. Sawyer Products, we keep you outdoors.
You know, after we'd wrapped up yesterday's fishing at Amistad, we're getting ready to head back to San Antonio, call it a day, when I got a text and a phone call from Ray Hanselman. For those of you in the know, Ray Hanselman is one of the best tournament fishers you're gonna find anywhere, basically, as well as a top-notch guide. And I've been fortunate to call him a friend for a long time. He's shared many great pieces of advice over decades in that area. And when he said, hey Wade, if you can hang around and fish in the morning, I'm free. What did I do? I said, let's go fishing, Ray.
I mean, when I first started fishing here, we didn't have grass, and it was fishing like it was a couple years ago, you know, offshore, deep, random. Those schools would just move from here to there, and man, I'm just grateful that this grass came back. You know, it's tightened them up. We'll be able to catch them, you know, in depths that you can stay on them, stay with them. And I've been kind of staying with the same schools of fish since this fall. You know, we got a little rise, fish went up in the green stuff, and the grass kind of followed it up in there because it stayed up high. And now, you know, winter conditions, they pull back out, but they're similar areas. And big schools, they're just all big groups together, and it's been fun.
Bite. Better one there. Keeper. I had to go right in there behind you.
Yeah, I would. There might be a little covey of them there.
It's kind of over here where we had a couple of those other bites. Not too far.
Kind of a long old fish there.
Yeah. Catching skinny ones don't count. They're hungry.
Hey, catch as catch can.
I agree. I agree. It's just good to get to where you can catch them again out here.
I know it. I've had, it's been so long since it's been good. It seemed like the last 4 days I fished, you know, we had our best 20 weighed like 105 pounds.
Wow.
I don't recall doing that years ago. I know we did, but golly, it's just fun. It's going to get better. I mean, it's going to continue to get better. This group of fish, you know, it's not like these fish disappeared. It's such a deep lake, and we lost that hydrilla for 3 years, and it just put them offshore.
And they're hard to catch when they get out in that 100 foot of water on those drops.
And they will get out in 100 feet. And
they're going where the bait is, and that's where the bait moves.
And they're nomadic. You might find a giant school of them off a ledge one day, but you're not going to find them again the next. I mean, it was tough fishing. That's how I grew up fishing this lake. I dreaded it, but I mean.
You much prefer the grass.
Oh yeah. Tightens them up. Makes it where everybody can catch it.
Yes.
You know, that's what makes a good fishery. You know, there's lakes that have giant fish in them, but you can sell a lot of fishing license when everybody can catch them.
Right. Well, I can feel like right now I can bring my wife over, who's a recreational angler. She wants to sit back there in the chair and cast a little bit and sunbathe a little bit, and she's going to catch some now. Where a couple years ago, I mean, she's like, I don't want to go there. I'm never going to catch one. And now I can tie a crankbait on and find grass, and she's going to catch a couple.
That's right.
I just like it when they're biting, and that's all I care about.
Exactly. Everybody asks me, what's your favorite bait? I'm like, the one they biting. Yeah. Same deal.
Well, it's amazing when you look at the deck of anybody's boat at any time fishing. I mean, how many different baits? I mean, you go from my rods to yours, and we've got a mix of similar baits, but there's a lot of different, you know, choices right now on the deck.
Exactly, yeah. You know, we're using a bait right now just to get them fired up, you know, kind of bust them loose out of that grass and get them going, and then we pick up crankbait, swim bait, jerk bait, and really clean up the schools.
Keep them honest.
That's right.
There's a little better one, I think.
You got one?
He's shrinking. Same line I caught that other one on. A little better.
Bigger brother.
They're growing up in size.
Wade and Ray will wrap things up on Lake Amistad when we return.
What I love about the Bradley smoker is that it cooks everything perfectly and it holds all the juices in.
So today we are going to be smoking some barbecue ribs, some venison sausage, and some dove, which is awesome.
You will never grill me doves again. I have to have them in the Bradley smoker. I would prefer to use the Bradley smoker every time I cooked. Well, that's really true because I love this thing. No lie. For more recipes, log on to bradleysmoker.com.
When I talk about Sunline, I think of one word: confidence.
Sunline FX2 is what I use for all of my frogging and flipping.
S61 braid, which braid plays a big part in fishing line.
Shooter, I'm going to use in those close quarter deals like flipping and pitching.
One of my favorite techniques in fishing the tournament trail is to fish offshore ledges.
We have taken the questions out of the equation.
Take my word for it. It works. It works, dude.
Heavy duty, rugged, and designed for the big game hunter and angler. The Food Saver Game Saver Titanium Vacuum Sealer has the power and performance to seal in the freshness of your game and fish for up to 3 years, 5 times longer than standard storage methods. And with its extra wide dual and repetitive sealing capabilities, that's a ton of big game savings. Tough tested and rated 4.8 out of 5 stars by outdoorsmen just like you. The Food Saver Titanium System, it's a true game changer.
There's 2 things between an angler and the fish: the sun and the bugs. Sawyer's line of sunscreens and bug sprays keep you focused on the fish. Sawyer's Stay Put sunscreen formula bonds with your skin for a more comfortable and better level protection. And picaridin insect repellent will only harm the bugs, never your fishing gear. Also, Sawyer permethrin repels and kills on contact over 55 species of insects. You're already outdoors. Sawyer keeps you there.
Captain Steve Roger from Into the Blue. I just got these new Bubba Blade pliers in my hands and they are awesome. You got aircraft aluminum frame, the gripper is stainless steel, coated in titanium, and the cutter is tungsten. A great cutter is going to cut all the monofilament, braid, anything you got. And the best thing of all, it's got the Bubba Blade grip. Just like the knife, these things are not going to slip out of your hand. Awesome pair of pliers. I suggest you try them out.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Hobie Fishing, Mirage Drive Pedal Systems, Food Saver, the #1 vacuum sealing system, Bradley Smoker, food smoking made easy.
Anytime that I've had a chance to fish the body of water called Amistad, I've always done it. And when things got bad, and they got bad over there, and fishing went downhill, it took a major hit on the economy. You could drive down the highway and see the results of nobody coming there. Tourism was down, bass tournaments weren't coming, recreational fishermen weren't coming. And I would often ask Ray and other people, man, the lake's gonna bounce back. Ray never wavered. He said, Wade, the fish are there.
The fish are coming back, they've relocated in the grass and we're catching some good fish. I hadn't caught them like I have, the last few weeks here, I hadn't caught them like that, I don't know, in 10 years.
Are you checking him, see if he's still shaking his head?
That one actually shook his head once.
Yeah, he did. I saw it shake a little bit on the rod. A little better one. Make me grab that crankbait pretty quick. Get out the way.
We got him.
Pinned him good. That's the kind you like to.
Yeah, that fish, he could have done 4 backflips. You'd have caught him anyway. Good deal. Maybe there's a herd of them up there. There's some giant schools of big ones right now. I mean, those fish make it move up shallow, get up real shallow, in the bushes and stuff. I mean, people are going to catch some big ones this year, spawning. One of the first years we've had a shallow spawn. A lot of the fish the last few years, there hadn't been much cover shallow. They spawn in this clear water out deep, and then they go back deep.
They never got in less than 10 foot of water.
Yeah. You want to jump?
Oh yeah, there's a good one. I'm gonna get right back in that same drain.
Probably a school of them over there. Usually they're gonna jump again.
That's what you're looking for at Amistad for the future.
Yeah. Oh. He's feeling pretty feisty.
That's got to make you feel so good as somebody who guides and seen this lake through its ebbs and falls, you know, ups and downs, and to start to see fish like that.
It does. I mean, you know, I guess what they say, patience is a virtue. And these are just healthy, thick. Everybody thought they died, but they just been out.
When you look at all your guide pictures right now and what everybody's catching, I mean, you're bringing in fish like that almost every day right now.
Limits of them.
Well, that's awesome. You know, Ray was right. He said all along, he said some of those big fish are still out there. The lake's gonna bounce back, and it absolutely 100% is in that upward cycle. The young age classes of fish out there in that 10-inch to 15-inch range is tremendous. I mean, you can just literally get your line stretched if you can find them. Big fish, they're there in prevalence. Tournament numbers are coming back, and hopefully all the businesses in the area that have suffered in the last few years will begin to rebound as well. If you're looking for a great fishing trip, head on down to Amistad and Del Rio. I promise you, you're gonna get your line stretched.